GearNetwork.com.
This is a Gear Network production.
You spring, I spring, we all spring for Teespring. You know what that means? As corny as that was, yes, I know it was corny as hell, we have a t-shirt store. It is up and it is running. And right now we have 8 shirts, but it is growing. The merchandise is growing. Right now we have shirts going from as little as $13 for a TJCMS first t-shirt to $20 for a Gear Network logo t-shirt. All of them available to be delivered right to your front door. You choose your size, you choose your style, and you go. It's as simple as that, and there are plenty more t-shirts to come, but take a look at our Teespring store. If you go to GearNetwork.com, under the Support the Shows banner and 4 links down is Gear Merchandise. That will take you directly to our Teespring store, and you can see all of our selection of our current shirts right now, our current merchandise. Thank you again for all of your support and using our links on GearNetwork.com.
From wherever we decide studios, broadcasted live on iTunes, Spreaker, and worldwide, this is the Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast with your hosts, the Crimson Cyclone himself, Cyclone Jones, and of course, the producer, Pat G. The G stands for gangsta. And now kick back and get ready for the eargasms.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know me, I know you, we know each other. Cyclone Jones in the building, back again, TTRP, alongside Pat G. The G stand for gangster. Pat G, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? You know what I'm going to say, Pat G?
I do.
Tell them what it is.
It is episode number 55 of the TTRP, brought to you by Gear Network and, of course, shopgear.com.
Of course, you can get everything there.
Yes.
Christmas is coming up. School time's coming up.
Yes.
You need to shop.
Buy stuff.
You need to buy some stuff.
Because we need them extra little funds to help support this podcast.
Exactly.
And all the other great podcasts that the Gear Network have to offer.
Exactly. And then you can buy napkins there because the eargasms are crazy. I know they are. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. You know how we do. Today's topics, your wrestling, us talking about it. Let's go, Pat G.
Well, we'd like to thank Kim Artlett for coming on with us last week talking about all things promoting and Ignite Wrestling.
That was awesome.
It was a great interview having her on. Ignite Wrestling doing a lot of things. They had a show this past weekend.
Yeah.
And everything. But we had a couple of shows this past weekend in the local area.
We did.
Within 10 minutes of each other.
We did. First, it was actually 6 minutes of each other.
6 minutes. Oh, wow. Okay. Even closer.
Yeah.
Well, the first one was Nickel City Rising Dawn. And in your first match, a 6-man tag saw Mikey Everynight, Dave Tracy, and the Landlord picking up the victory over The Business, Anthony Musso, and Dakota Orion.
And do you know why they picked up the victory?
Nefarious tactics?
It's because The Business, somebody who I looked up to,
oh no! Did the business
turn his back
on the people?
On the people!
Oh no!
He went into business
with the Landlord
for himself.
Oh no!
As we're interrupted by the Sergeant Fury. Sergeant Fury.
Mic check, 1, 2.
Well, you don't need the mic check. We're already doing what we do, sir.
Oh, son of a bitch, is this Cyclone Jones?
Yes, sir. You know me. I know you. We know each other. Cyclone Jones in the building.
Oh, first off, you realize this is the first time you and I have heard each other's voices in almost 3 freaking years.
Really?
Dude, if you think about it, the last time you and I had any kind of conversation was In Your Face Wrestling in 2015, towards the end of 2015.
Wow. Listen, I miss you.
I miss you too, man. Like when I was doing a couple of my Facebook Live things and you chime in, I'm like, fuck, he's one of the reasons I love going out to Buffalo. other than the fact that Buffalo is literally a city of crazy fucks, I'm like, wow. And I can swear, right? Like,
Yes, you can swear, Dan.
Oh, thank God. So, fucking, how have you been? How's the family?
The family's good, man. You know, they're running me ragged, but you know, it's I don't know, it's family. That's what they do.
So how goes the face busting? Last time I remember, you kind of punched me in the face in OSPW.
Did I?
Yeah, you see, you were at this announce table, right? And you were talking mad shit while me and Biggo were having a Falls Count Anywhere match where we put a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And he moved out of the way, and you may or may not have punched me in the mouth.
Did I?
Yeah, you can go on YouTube and find it. But that wasn't the only time you punched me in the face. You kind of punched me in the face in August of 2014 when you took my in your face time. But that's beside the point. Talk about the Cyclone Jones tonight and Pat G. And G stands for Tanker. Oh, I love it.
Did I?
So on your next merchandising endeavor, I really want a did I?
Listen. I will say this: listening to like other podcasts and how they show their T-shirts, I have like 7 T-shirts by this man's catchphrase just alone.
You know what you want to do is just a list of catchphrases, and each one is just a different font, and then the back is just the Cyclone thing.
Oh, that's money, baby. That's money.
Yeah.
Well,
glad you're doing great out in Buffalo. Let me interrupt you, Pat G. Sorry, man. It's great to see how Nickel City has been treating you. It's great to see you and all the branching out you're doing. Believe it or not, I stalk everyone out in Buffalo.
hold on, wait. Was that a joke about the Nickel City part?
No. I watched what you were doing out there for that little while, and it's like I was watching the videos and everything. And
Really? Because I quit. I quit Nickel City.
I don't care if you quit. And it was good to see it out there.
Well, thank you. You know, I mean, with Nickel City, and we were just actually talking about Nickel City before you jumped in. With Nickel City, I was trying to bring up the new guys. That was my main thing. You know, when I won the Silver Linings Championship, I wanted to build up one of the young guys who came from grapplers, who trained the proper way that I didn't train.
Vinny Moon and his flippity doos.
You know, Vinny Moon. I actually, to be honest, wanted to drop the title to Danny Garcia. Yeah. I mean, but Danny and the promoter fell out, you know, so I had to pick a new guy. You know, Vinny Moon was the perfect choice.
Yep.
You know, me and Vinny put on one of the best matches that I had and he had. He actually said as well. You know, we had a great match, you know. But with Nickel City, I mean, you know, everybody has differences and we part ways, but, you know, it's all love in this business. But enough about Cyclone Jones. This is my podcast. I can talk about me all day. How are you?
You want the truth? I couldn't be happier with my position in pro wrestling as it sits right now, which is funny because I had Pat G on my podcast.
Right.
Gary. A couple nights ago, we were talking about the 25th anniversary of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and he had asked me, he goes, so what happened? You know, because in 2016, I disappeared.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a lot to this story, and when he asked me to come on the podcast and talk about it, I figured one of two things was going to happen. Either I'm going to continue to perpetrate the lie I've been telling myself and I've been telling a lot of people for a long time, or I was going to come on and be 100% honest and tell everyone what happened and let people decide for themselves. Either is Dan Roberts the person, a good person, who just made some shitty decisions and it affected a lot of people in negative ways but eventually became positive, or, you know, is he just going to be one of those guys you shake hands with in the locker room and you move away from? Mm-hmm. So essentially what happened was at the early months of 2016, my now ex-wife found out that I had been cheating.
Oh.
And, you know, this is a shoot. And this is honestly the first time it's been said in public, because, you know, I've had to come to terms with this, and it's, you know, it's obviously affected my family in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And after, you know, ups and downs after that was found out, you know, it was decided that it wasn't going to work. It just was not going to work. There was a lot of broken trust there, a lot of lies for a good amount of time, and that ripple effect was felt in my wrestling. In fact, due to the split, I now had to accept life as a single dad on weekends. You know, she had custody of Logan, which 100%, she is a great mom. I cannot talk. Logan is my son, by the way, for those who don't know.
Of course.
I cannot talk about how great of a person she is. She is a caregiver, a provider for him in so many ways. And I will be indebted to her until the day I die, because she's raising one hell of a gentleman and one hell of an intellectual kid. But there came a time when I was having to have him only on the weekends, and only for a minimal amount of time, because there's a lot that goes along with this story, as some of the listeners might know. You know, the Sergeant part of the Sergeant Fury isn't a gimmick. You know, I didn't just rip off Marvel Comics. 10 years in the Army and 2 tours overseas, and the part about that is that the residual effects I still feel to this day. I do suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, and at times that does make parenting extremely difficult. So I was with my kid on a moderate basis, and I was still trying to take bookings, don't get me wrong, but when you go through all these life things, some priorities just aren't real priorities. I was working on my bachelor's. I was working full-time as well as going to school full-time. I was dealing with the effects of how I ruined my family. Mm-hmm. And I was going out to OSPW and having a series of matches with Big Vigo. And, you know, we traveled together, rode together, we were tag team champions together. And on one of these occasions, it was the last OSPW show. It was September 10th. 2016, we decided that we were going to go balls out, and we were going to end our trilogy with a dog collar match. And me and Pat G were actually talking. Pat G was the referee, and he was there that night and everything.
I was.
There's a moment in the match. If you go back and watch the match, I am on all fours crawling. I've done a spot where I think I missed the punk knee, and I bounced off. And Vigo yanks the dog collar. And I had what, you know, is affectionately in the business referred to as a stinger. Mm-hmm. And my arms went numb.
Oh, wow.
I could not feel my hands. And, you know, if you go back and you watch that match from bell to bell, it's almost 20 minutes, which is tough as it is. And, you know, when me and Vigo ever wrestled each other, we always went balls out. That's what you do when you're friends with someone. You give everything.
Right.
And we left that building that night, and the next day, I woke up and I just felt weird. I felt different, physically different. And I was driving home, and I worked at that time in a warehouse, second shift, 2 to 10:30. And I called them at like 10 in the morning, and I was like, I'm not going to be in today, I'm sick. And this is September 11th, 2016. And I dropped the guys off at their vehicles, and I was like, I'll catch you later, and I'm going to go see my son. And I went to his house, and they weren't there. I think his mom and he were at a birthday party. And I couldn't move. My son came home to find his dad laying on his couch, almost incapable of moving.
Oh, wow.
I was beaten up. I was bruised. My arms were just throbbing. It was like a hot pain and a throbbing and a tingling all from my neck down to my fingertips. And, you know, I can remember I was watching footage, because obviously it was September 11th, so I was watching, National Geographic documentaries on it.
Right.
Because that was the moment that made me join the military. And I felt off. And a couple of weeks later, I was getting ready to go wrestle in a promotion called Hawa, in Connecticut. And my son, I was telling my kid, next weekend I'm not going to pick you up because I'm going to be wrestling in Connecticut. And he looks at me and goes, I don't want you to wrestle. And I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, I want you to quit. I don't want you to wrestle anymore.
Wow.
And the reason why, and he told me this, was because he was scared when he saw his father laying on a couch incapable of moving. That burned in a 5-year-old's brain so deep.
Yep.
That he looked up to me and said, I want you to be fucking done. And I remember the next day, I toiled in my brain for a while, and then the next day I called Vigo, because we were a tag team at that time there. And he's like, oh, we got this plan. I said, I'm not going to the show. In fact, I fucking quit. And he's like, well, what do you mean you quit? And I'm like, I'm done. And I explained what happened. And he was like, well, okay. And Ricky Williams, Mr. Canada, has always been the third man in Northern Fury. So he's like, okay, I'll go out with Ricky. And then I was like, all right, so I'm working at a show near Utica against Fellowship. It's a 6-man tag match. Fellowship, Ronnie Ribs, great guy, love him to death.
I just saw him in Canada.
Yeah, he's a fucking phenomenal guy, and ex-Army,
Yep.
As I am. And I looked up to Vigo and I said, I want to get pinned by Ronnie. I'm done. I'm out of this. I'm done. Vigo bought all of the Northern Fury merchandise, and he now goes by the Northern Fury Big Vigo wherever he goes. And I was done. I told myself I was out. 2016 was a very tough year. I ended it in, I laid in the ring after taking essentially a razor's edge. And I was done. I was ready to be done.
Wow.
And that's a lot of emotional stuff. Like, I know there's going to be people who know me who listen to this and are like, holy fuck, like, we didn't know. And that's because I don't believe in airing your dirty laundry on social media.
Right.
We have, people know about it, but it's one of these things where I was going to come on this podcast, I was going to be 100% real. I was going to be me. So, take it or leave it. That's how I thought it was going to end. I thought it was going to end. And literally, I got punched in the back and then a razor's edge, and I got pinned. Like, that was my final match. It wasn't some, 5-star classic against someone that was on my top 5 list that I needed to work in a singles or anything. It literally was just punch in the back, razor's edge, 5. And I remember talking to Tommy Dreamer. He was at the show. And I wanted to cry because it was just an emotionally draining thing. And Tommy looks at me, he goes, so what's going on, kid? He goes, hearing? And I said, no, my son wants me to quit. I'm going through divorce and all this other stuff. And he goes, I just want you to know, your son will want to see you wrestle again. I'm like, okay, Tommy. Here's Tommy Dreamer talking to me like I'm nobody, really. I'm just some jackoff who ripped his name off from Marvel Comics at this point. And so it was May, and it was about 8 months after I had walked away from wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to a Dynasty show. Dynasty finding Bobby Fish. It was Bobby's last, if I'm not mistaken, independent show in the Northeast before he got signed to NXT and showed up on NXT television.
Okay.
I went there just to say hi to some of the guys. At this point, and Pat G and I were joking around about it, I grew this big black Logan beard. I was wearing a leather jacket. People kind of did a double take. And I remember I sat on the side and I was watching Fox Vineyard wrestle, and people thought I was there to do a run-in. I'm like, guys, I'm retired.
Which would have been really sweet.
Which would have been fucking cool if, out of nowhere, here comes old man Fury, and it's like, I'm back, bitch. But it would have been cool because at this time, a lot of people knew I was starting to get into Spartan races.
Mm-hmm.
I was really taking my health seriously. I needed to prioritize. What was important to me? Spending time with my son was important to me. Getting physically and mentally back on an even keel was important to me. And more importantly than that, I wanted to see my friends succeed, and I was watching everyone. Despite the popular belief, I may not have been posting a lot at that time, but I was watching what everyone in every promotion from Buffalo to Maine to Massachusetts to Connecticut to New Jersey was doing. And I got to see a lot of talent that I wanted to work with, and a lot of talent that I had seen at other shows that I was proud that they were doing the work that they were doing. You included, and I'll get to this in a few minutes. And Chris Envy and I had a good hug. I'd always liked Chris. And he looked at me and he goes, so what'll it take to bring you back? And it just so happened that Bin Hamin was working at that show. And it was the debut of Bin and Papa Don as the conspiracy horseman there.
Right.
And I looked up and I was like, I've always wanted to work Bin. And he goes, well, I'm sure we can talk later on and whatnot. And he goes, how are you ring wise? And I said, I haven't been in a ring since November. He's like, all right. And he goes, well, we'll talk. And I go, okay, cool. And I didn't think it was going to be anything. I honestly did not plan on getting back in the ring. And then there's another part to the story. A couple weeks later, I ran into the Gouda guy, Mike Cheese, at a gym up here. And Mike Cheese was actually the first person I wrestled in SAW in Vermont. He was my cherry popping match up there. And I lost to him, but he's always been a really good friend. I can't speak enough about Mike Cheese. He's deserved every bit of success that he's got. And he was like, you're looking real good. I was looking out at the time for a Spartan in, it was the Spartan Sprint in New Jersey.
Okay.
And I was like really trying to lean out and look good. And he was like, have you thought about coming back? And I said, if I came back. And I did the if. Like, it's like, no. It's like, if I came back, this is what I kind of see myself doing. And I pitched him an idea, and he goes, okay, I'll see if Shane Alden is interested. And about a day later, I got a message, hey, how are you looking for August? And I'm like, fuck, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. Fucking August. And he's like, look, talk to Shane and we'll see what we can do. I'm like, okay. And then it so happened that Chris Envy got a hold of me. And he was like, we have a show on July 1st. And July 1st is my birthday. So I would have been turning 35. And he goes, are you interested in coming down and doing a tag team thing? With this kid that we've got, he's got a good head on his shoulders and whatnot. And I was like, well, who would I be working with? He was like, Robbie E. and The Street, Elite Terrell and Shaker. And I've known Elite for years from In Your Face Wrestling.
Whose side piece, or which side piece is, those two are a phenomenal team.
Yes, they are. And in fact, if anyone listening to me gives a shit about my opinion, which I'm hoping maybe one or two of you do, fucking book them. Book them. They are fucking phenomenal. And not only that, great attitude. And I was watching what they were doing in IWE and, other promotions. And Elite Terrell, phenomenal guy. Fucking guy. So I was like, oh, I'm in. And I was like, I'm lean enough to where I feel good in my trunks. I went there that night, and, I saw my trainer, Jakey Black, and his wife, and Jakey was like, I thought you were done. And I'm like, and he goes, I'm so fucking proud of you. He gives me a big hug, and I'm like, oh, thanks, Dad. And then July, I was gone. I was actually working in a warehouse in Pennsylvania for the company I was with at the time. And I come back, and the night I come back, I literally had my gear at home. I came home, grabbed my gear, ran to Whitehall, and I wrestled for World of Hurt Wrestling. And the greatest fucking thing, the greatest compliment I can get is, I can mark out over myself all day long. But if fans are genuinely happy to see me, it makes me feel good. And there's a picture that David Dragon took. He's a super fan of the wrestling up in this area.
Okay.
And it me in the corner listening to the crowd applaud. And he took a picture, and it was, he's back, and he tagged me in it. And if you go back and you look at that picture, it's like part crying, because a week and a half earlier I had to have my, I'm tearing up right now talking about this. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My dog died of lung cancer. And I love that fucking dog. You know how it is.
Yeah.
I had to have my dog put down and cremated. And I just sat there in the corner for a second, and I was like, you better make this fucking match good. And I'm like, because if there is some pantheon where your dog is sitting there waiting for you, it's like, you better make this fucking match good for him too. And I had a good 3.5 minutes, which is, what I was asked. It was a green kid, and it was like, okay, Fury's back. Let's see what I can do, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there, man. I told myself if I was going to come back and have one more run, and if I was going to come back and do this, there was one word that I needed in order to do it: fun. I needed everything I did to be fun and be worth it, because every Saturday that I'm out on the road going to a promotion is a Saturday I have to explain away to my son, who, by the way, I have a really fucking phenomenal relationship with his mom. We've become really good friends. And one of the good parts is that she lets me see him whenever I want. Like, if it's the middle of the week and I want to go see my kid for a couple hours, I can do it on a school night. You don't find that with very many exes, let alone people, two people with our history.
Right.
So, you just, and I've been fortunate that she's been so fucking cool. And when I have to go wrestle the next day, 9 a.m., I'm not only at my, at her house to pick up my son, but I'm handing him half my pay. So it's like, it better be a good fucking payday, because my kid wants his cut of the money. I'm his pimp.
Well, it's also funny, Dan, Fury brought up a good point. He has an agreement with his son. He's allowed to wrestle under the terms of never wrestling Vigo ever again.
Oh, wow.
That is legit. When I explained what I was doing to my son, and that I wanted to wrestle again, he said, okay, but you can never wrestle Big Vigo again. And I was like, okay. So if ever I show up to a building and it is, well, Vigo's going to beat you up, it's like, well, no, you better find something else. But have him beat up a referee, because he can't touch me. And it's funny because, the first time we're going to work together in, since that tag match on November 5th, 2016 is actually coming up on September 8th. So we have not been in a ring together as a team, a tag team like just he and I in 3 years. Almost 2 full years since we've been in a ring together in any capacity whatsoever.
Wow.
So it's really for real that's happening, and that's happening for Dissension Pro Wrestling in Connecticut. But I have been blessed in the fact that I have had phenomenal people to work with since coming back. I have been blessed that I have had promoters reach out to me that want to work with me, and I also told myself that although we live in a kayfabe world where we're supposed to keep things on the down low, with our respect for people, Chris Envy and Shane Alden, Dynasty and World of Hurt, respectively, the promoters there, they gave me a second chance to make another good first impression with the fans.
Yeah.
And to reinvent myself, and to really get an opportunity to change and make up the wrongs, because, the last year and a half that I was wrestling, although I had fun at times, it wasn't fun all the time. And a lot of that had to do with my own personal demons and the shit that I was going through. And I can't victim as myself. I did shit that was wrong. And the only thing that I can really say is, I just hope that this continues, because for the next month and a half, I've got some great stories planned, and I've got some great talent that I'm going to be working with. And I have talent that I still want to work with. I have a top 5 list that I told myself, before I walk away and hang up the boots, which I have a new pair of boots coming custom, and it's like, I'm like a fucking happy puppy over getting custom boots. They're snake skin. Oh yeah. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like a happy puppy 1 year into my wrestling all over again. It's like, yay.
That's good. That's good. But I mean, with that, it's always a good thing with pro wrestling is to always continue to go forward. Everybody falls down. Everybody stumbles. Everybody slips. But as long as you continue to keep forward and press forward, you know what I'm saying? Good things will happen. Everybody messes up. And you took yours and you knew what you did and you accepted it, and you move forward from it, which is a great thing. It's bad that it happened, but it's a great thing that you move forward from it and turned a negative into a positive. Now you have a better relationship, you said, with your ex, and, you see your son and your son wants to see you wrestle again. It all turns out to be good again. Did we lose you?
Yeah,
we lost him.
We might have lost him.
It's okay though, but we'll get him back. But with that, that's Lieutenant Dan Fury,
Sergeant Fury.
Sergeant. I said Lieutenant, didn't I? Oh my gosh!
Did.
Oh, don't let him hear that.
Oh God.
Sergeant Fury. But we're gonna see if we can get him back really quickly.
Yeah, just before the break, see if we. I feel like we're back on the radio again.
I know, right?
The weird technical difficulties in that.
Okay, I must also preface that when I decided I was going to live somewhere, I live in the middle of nowhere where if a stiff wind blows, I lose internet. So, all right, yeah, reinvent, as you were saying. I am sorry, Cyclone.
Not a problem. I mean, like I was saying, which I already said on the podcast, is it's always good that, you take a negative and you turn it into a positive. You've accepted what you did wrong. You continued forward. You built a better relationship with your ex. Now you have more awesome relationship with your son. Because I remember you used to always talk about your son every single time I saw you. Now you have another awesome relationship with your son, and now also, you're doing what you love again, which is amazing.
And the best part about it is, I actually have talked to her about certain aspects of my character. Like, I still talk to her about wrestling. And in fact, as certain fans have pointed out, and as you point out, it's good to reinvent yourself. So while I was away, I was lucky that the Negan phenomenon happened. Mm-hmm. Because I am a huge fan of, the name Sergeant Fury, as we've talked about, is a Marvel Comics character. I've constantly looked for comic books and science fiction. I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. I'll openly admit that. I'm fucking proud of being a comic book nerd before it was cliche and cool and all that other shit.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't know how many Batman conversations we had, and people were looking at us like fucking dork.
Oh, but you can't whoop our ass though.
Yeah, we'll break your face and take your girls. That's all we're saying. The last OSPW show, I dressed up like Negan as a cosplay because it was just fun. It was the season premiere where you were going to find out who he smashed in the head with Lucille was about to come out. I said, fuck it, I'm going to go out and have fun.
Right.
I did not realize that image was going to stick with me not only after that show or during that show, but for the years afterwards, where I have adapted my character for the promotions that I work for to be a combination of what was always there to begin with, the original Fury, along with the political atmosphere that we live in today, as weird as that sounds, and this Negan character, and the back that I bring to the ring, because I don't want to call it Lucille and have people be like, you're fucking Negan ripoff, is actually named for my ex-wife, with her blessing, because even she knows the backstory of the baseball bat. And when I told her that this is what I wanted to name it, I wanted to name it Tasha, she looked at me and she goes, I agree, but no one better disrespect that fucking baseball bat. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So she still gives me input on certain things. And the cool part about it is we are at a good friendship. We talk all the time. I've helped her through surgeries in the recent years that she's had difficulties dealing with. I mean, I don't know very many exes that have that good of a relationship, especially all the bullshit that I put her through, and I did, and I put her through a lot of hell.
Not mine. I can't stand my ex.
And that's the thing. It's like I also have an awesome relationship and that she wants me and my son to have a relationship. And I know that there are guys out there who fight tooth and nail to just see their kid for 5 minutes. And if they do, it's because their ex is holding them up for fucking child support and alimony. It's like with me, it's not the case at all. I lucked out. You know, like you said, out of this big negative came a lot of positives. And I've gotten to work with promoters. I've gotten to work with wrestlers that I respect. And I've got some coming up that I really cannot. I've never wrestled Shane Alden in a singles match. I finally get to work with Shane Alden in Bennington, Vermont on September 28th, one-on-one. And he's doing this new Ghoul character which he debuted a while back. It's been on Ring of Honor television. You know, I mean, this is a big fucking thing. I mean, I was just in the ring with Dalton Castle, dueling in a promo with the former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
You know,
and Rochester native.
And Rochester native. And I've also got this kid Rick Recon that I've been doing this sparring trilogy with, where we're 1-1-1. I have a victory, he has a victory, and we have a no contest. So now there needs to be the rubber match. And I can proudly announce that that match has been signed for September 29th in Westerland, New York. It's near the Utica area. It's going to be the final fight. And I cannot give any more details than that. You know, you'll have to watch the promos when they come out. And then the next night I get to travel back to Vermont and finish out the World of Hurt Green Mountain Tour, I believe in Newport, Vermont. And it's like, that's not all. I'm going to be working with this new company, New York Championship Wrestling in Whitesboro on October 13th. And the cool part about that is Whitesboro is literally a stone's throw away from where my unit, Bravo Company 403rd Civil Affairs was, that I was with the last 5 years. I was in the Army. So it's kind of, for me, you know, like a circling back and coming home. And all of this has been made possible by the fact that I want to, much like you were talking about earlier, where you wanted to bring people up. It's like, I want to bring people up and I want to tell good stories.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you can go out there and have a 5-star match and put yourself through 1,000 tables and try and be as Ring of Honor, New Japan, NXT as you want. But if you don't give people, in my opinion, so people can shit on this if you want, if you don't give them a compelling character and a compelling story to latch onto that character with, I don't see the point.
Nope.
And for me, I've been lucky. And I mean, I still have miles left, and I still have opponents left that I want to work with. So if I can in any way, shape, or form work with those guys to give them something different that they haven't faced before. Because this incarnation of Fury is a lot of shit-talking and more straightforward.
Well, that's right up your alley.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, and in fact, you know, let's be honest. I was talking to Pat G the other night. I do have a top 5 list of guys I'd like to work with, and I would hope that the end of 2018 and 2019 would be prosperous, because Cyclone Jones happens to be one of my top 5. I've never worked Cyclone in a one-on-one. And, you know, I've watched the stuff that you've done, like I said at the top of the show, or at least the top of my segment. Fuck, I'm not that important to be on the whole fucking show.
I mean, you're already halfway on the show.
Exactly. I'm so sorry. Like, I told Pat G, I was like, I get diarrhea of the mouth.
It's all right. It's okay.
I'm so used to interviewing other people that when I have adult conversations, I'm just like, but Michael Jones is someone I want to work with. I feel like we've worked before in a tag team capacity, but I would like to believe that if Cyclone Jones and I went toe-to-toe on a microphone and then toe-to-toe in a ring, it would be a completely different experience than Cyclone has had in the past, and hopefully something that he gains out of it, because, you know, what I might not be able to do with catch-can wrestling and all this stuff that people want to do, I sure shit can do with my mouth. And that's not any kind of sexual way, you sick freaks. I knew exactly what some of you were thinking.
I was thinking it. I mean, but that's just me.
Exactly. Chocolate.
But I think if me and you were to tango, I take that back. When me and you tango, I already know it's going to be something that will be talked about all over, because your promos are amazing. I think my promos are amazing. You know how to talk on the mic. You're articulate. I know how to talk on the mic. I'm articulate. You know how to enunciate. I know how to enunciate. I think that the word battle would honestly probably be better than the freaking match itself.
And see, that's the thing. I talk to people, and you're absolutely right. And that brings up a valid point. I have actually talked to talent in the back. And me and Mr. Michael Mann, who was my manager at the time, he's the co-GM of Dynasty Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
Dynasty. For every show, let's talk business for a minute. Let's talk shop. How many matches, generally speaking, are on a card at any given independent promotion?
Typically between
7 to 10, depending on the promotion.
Exactly. Yeah, 7 to 10 we can go with.
Okay, so between 14 and 20 promos ought to be on that event's Facebook page.
Right.
I will see guys who, and I've heard guys, I'm not going to name names because that's not me, who talk about, I hype this show, I hype this show, I hype this show. Could you take your cell phone and for 45 seconds give any personality and then put that video on the event's Facebook page so that you can show why your match is the most important match to buy a ticket for? I have seen promotions, and I'm not talking bad, I'm just talking normal, whose performers do not put promos out there, but that wonder why they don't have mic time. Well,
yep.
Are you sure that you deserve mic time? Because I can tell you right now, as a guy who 3 years ago was scratching and clawing to get any kind of recognition by the World of Hurt fans in Whitehall, New York, do you think those fans 3 years ago would have paid to see me on a microphone? Fuck no. Right now, I've got fans that want to see me fucking dead because me and Dalton Castle went toe-to-toe on a fucking microphone. A microphone. And I mean, to me, that is the most astonishing thing, is that the power of your vocabulary and your, like you said, the ability to enunciate, which some wrestling fans don't have. Let me heal up for a second. It's one of these deals where show me who your fucking character is. And more importantly than that, if you get a microphone, even if you've never had one before, cut promos in the fucking shower. Cut promos while you're driving. There are a dozen great podcasts about pro wrestling that are out there, including this one, including fucking tons of them. And one of the things they always say is character.
That is so funny. And I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize. I just don't want to lose the thought. It's so funny that when I'm telling my guys in the car road trips, I have my guys do promos in the car with me. Immediately, just, all right, guys, let's do a promo training.
You've done it with me.
Yeah, I've done it with Pat G. All right, Pat G, promo training, let's go. But the thing is, I tell my guys, whenever you're talking, I say, if you have a problem with talking to the mirror. That way, when you talking to the mirror, you're looking directly at yourself. It's just like looking into the camera. Look directly into yourself, look into your eyes, and you talk to yourself, and you cut that promo. There's so many times that I've cut a promo on myself that I'm like, holy damn, why did I not record that? It honestly makes my dick hard that promo came out so good, But it's something where words can attract fans. Once you attract the fans pay the tickets to see that person. You got money, now you got a match. Everything goes hand in hand.
And one of the, I can tell you when I had an inkling that there might be a potential where Dalton Castle and I were going to be going verbally, was there a moment where I was like, holy shit, like, I'm going to go toe-to-toe with Dalton Castle on a microphone? And was I nervous? No. Because I knew that I had the ability to get on a microphone and at least try and tell a story and try and get the fans involved, interested. And after that promo, I had people messaging me who were in the crowd who were like, Dalton Castle versus Fury is going to happen, right? And I'm like, no. Get contracted to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way that'll ever happen. And they're like, so when do you go to Ring of Honor?
Exactly. Oh, it'll happen.
No, it could be killer because he's such a phenomenal worker. But
yeah,
like you're on that list. Sean Carr is on my top 5 list. I have seen the phenomenal work, and he just did the Excite Impact show.
Yep.
The pay-per-view, and he worked with Brute, and I've watched Sean Carr for several years, and it's like I will be the first to admit when I'm a fan of someone. Because deep down inside, the reason I stepped through the ropes trained in JP Black's school was because I was a fan of wrestling. I have sat back and been a referee in matches and been like, holy fuck, like I'm getting to watch this great match for free 99, and it's like, Sean Carr, I am a fan of his work because he can go in there and like any great professional, can adapt his style to go with whoever he's working with.
I've taken Sean Carr super kicks.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
He can work with a Richard Holiday. He can work with a Cassius Butcher. He can work with a Brute Van Slyke. He can work with a Tyrek. He can work with a Swinger Sugusky. He can work with motherfucking Jimmy Jacobs. He can work with all of these talents. I would like to have him work with Sergeant Fury because the Punisher versus Negan alone would be something I'd like to see.
Yeah.
And that's just to be able to say, holy fuck, I worked with Sean Conn.
So let me stop you there because we got like a minute and a half left.
Sorry to have bogarted your show.
It's completely fine, But, give us the last two people, if you want to give us the last two people, or the last three people really quickly, and then we're just going to give your plugs after that.
All right, so the Black Panther, Bobby Ocean. I want that match. Strangely enough, I do want Brute Van Slyke. I have been a fan of Brute, and I love the fact that he went to Japan, and just to go against someone that big,
yeah.
I've seen him with Jay Freddy.
I've wrestled him before he went to Japan, twice, 3 times.
And there seems to be this dude in Western New York who thinks it's cool to wear camouflage and carry a barbed wire baseball bat. He comes from the Rochester area. He might be PWI's Mr. 494. I think that's what he's toting right now.
Yeah.
The Prodigy, Eric. Yeah.
Punk rock supernova.
Yeah, punk rock, super drip, whatever he calls himself. Eric Emanon, I'm calling you out. I will go to Rochester.
Why is this show becoming a thing where everybody calls out everybody? That's it. We're just naming the TTRP the call out show.
Let's do it.
That's it. Because we get more challenges thrown out than anybody.
Let's do it.
Well, the problem is that you guys have the largest format that goes everywhere. And, I mean, what can I say? When Cyclone Jones has punched you in the face twice, he kind of owes you.
well, Sergeant Fury, let the fans, let promoters know, where can they book you at? Where can they find you at? This is your time to shine, even though you shine for 45 minutes on our show.
I knew it was going to happen. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's been good.
Come on my podcast anytime. Speaking of, I've got September 8th, I'll be wrestling for Dissension Pro Wrestling. It's going to be the first time that the OGNF, the original Northern Fury, is going to be tagging. And it's kind of a big deal because right now they're looking for tag team champions, and I can use tag team gold. Then I'm going to be working for World of Hurt Wrestling and Dynasty in the same weekend. I'm going to be traveling all across Bennington, Vermont on September 28th to wrestle the Ghoul, Shane Alden. He owes me one after I got his brother fired. Then I'm traveling all the way to Westerland, New York, to face Rick Recon in the final match. More details to come. I can't give too many spoilers on that one. Then I will be traveling to I believe it's Newport, Vermont, for the last show of the World of Hurt Green Mountain Tour. And then I will be at New York Championship Wrestling on October 13th to face off against someone that I finally get to check off the bucket list in Whitesboro, New York. High Voltage Omar, HBO, former heavyweight champion. I finally get to get in the ring with him. I mean, he keeps calling me old. It's time I show this young whippersnapper a thing or two.
All right. Well, all right, sir. We thank you for your time. Truly appreciate it. Listen, man, I love you. You are my brother. I love you.
And I must say, all kidding aside, Cyclone, you're one of the fucking few people that I love deeply in this business, and I hope nothing but success for you and the students that you roll with, and I hope they're listening, and I hope they heed my words that you're fucking, you are a wealth of knowledge. And I invite you to come on to the Films of Fury podcast anytime. Films of Fury podcast is nothing but movies and pop culture bullshit with yours truly, and you can find that on Anchor.fm, Spotify, and wherever you get your find.
All right. Let's do it. All right, so thank you for your time. We truly appreciate it. Also, call me. You got my number?
You know what? Message me after this. I got a new phone a while back, so I might not have it.
Cool beans. All right, sounds like a plan.
And Pat G, I love you as always. Thank you for being a guest on the Power Rangers episode, which has gotten a lot of traction. And if you haven't listened to that episode, me and Pat G go on for 2 hours to talk about the 25th anniversary of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's well worth the listen.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for having me on.
Cool beans. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cyclone Jones, and I am with Pat G. The G stands for gangster. And remember, the TTRP is sponsored by the Gear Network store through Amazon. If you visit shopgear.com, it's a little bit different. That's shop, GERE.com, and click on any of the banners. It will take you right to your account, and you can do all your Amazon shopping there.
When you shop Amazon and Amazon Prime, but Amazon kicks back a small percentage of your purchases back to us here at the Gear Network so we can continue to bring you the great program that you've come to know and love, like the TTRP Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast, Better Live Than Dead, the FTW podcast, the JC Money Show, and Trust the Podcast from the Gear Network. So that's shopgear.com, SHOPGERE.com for all your Amazon and Amazon Prime purchases from us here at the Gear Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. As we were interrupted, it was a great interruption, should I say.
It was.
From Sergeant Fury.
It was. We kind of went back to the throwback of our radio days where things just happen on the fly. We're starting one thing, a phone call comes in, and then we just go there. So we kind of threw it back to our radio station days.
Yeah. So I mean, it happens. But thank you, Sergeant Fury, for calling in. Thank you for giving us that time. It was a Sergeant Fury takeover.
Yes, it was. It was the Sergeant Fury takeover.
But he broke it down. He explained his absence from pro wrestling
for 2 years.
For 2 years.
Giving the real reason why he left pro wrestling and what brought him back to pro wrestling.
Exactly. He did that. And he explained a lot of things about what he's doing. Like, Fury is a talker.
Yes, he
Fury,
is.
as you already seen, Fury is a talker. So his promos are just like that. His promos are awesome. I love his promos. And if me and him were to battle, that battle of words, the exchange,
the promos alone
would be amazing.
Would be worth it.
Yeah, it would be.
But going back to where we started,
yes,
Nickel City Rising Dawn, the business turning.
Yes, I was in the middle of crying at that point in time.
And making the tears come out of Cyclone's eyes.
Yeah. Straight up.
Because the business went
into business for himself.
Yep.
And turned on the two rookies and joined Mikey Every Night and the landlord.
Well, that's unfortunate. But it's an interesting development because now you have the landlord and the business.
That's jacked up.
Well, up next was the start of the Nickel City Tag Team Championship Tournament.
Yep.
In this first round match, you saw the Arcade Heroes, the team of Dan Macchio and the Arcade TJ Karts, defeating the Old City Outlaws, Terry Cadillac and PJ Hansen.
Yeah.
Up next was a #1 contendership match for the Silver Linings Championship, which Nickel City, you had one 4 months ago. The same guy won it. Learn how to follow your shit. Luke Hainsaker defeated Nasty Nick Nice and Ace Gervais, who he defeated 4 months ago for the same thing.
He did.
So, once again, follow your shit. Know what you're doing.
He did.
To become the #1 contender for the Silver Linings Championship. Up next was another first-round match in the tag team tournament. The UWC of Tiger Smith and Titus Smith.
Yeah, Titus is back.
Defeating the Lost Boys, Adam Bizarre and Victor Chase. Corinne Mink picking up the victory over Eddie McQueen.
Yep, I just saw. I saw all four of them: the Lost Boys, Corinne Mink, and Eddie McQueen at UW that Sunday.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but we'll talk about that.
Up next, you saw the Arcade Heroes defeating the UWC to advance in the tournament. WWE legend Tatanka picking up the victory over Nick Merrick.
Tatanka going over. Tatanka's the man.
He is. And then in the main event, you saw the Latin Soldier reclaiming the Nickel City Heavyweight Championship, picking up the victory over champion Kaiju Chris West and Deacon.
So my thing is this. I can understand Lou being the champion. I'm cool with that. I can understand, you got some new guys.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it look like Nickel City Wrestling is OSPW 2.1 and a half? Not even 2.1 and a half, 1.3 and a half.
1.3 and a half?
Yeah.
Because Nickel City is basically running the same venues as OSPW did.
Not anymore, though.
Not anymore.
Okay, but go ahead. But before.
They did. At one point, while they were trying to get the footing under themselves.
Right.
Okay? They're running a few new places now. That's fine. Great. Awesome. You're expanding into the city. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But your main event picture is still the same guys that were in the main event picture in the OSPW days.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have new guys like you stated. So you have new tag teams, you have new people and everything.
You have a new crop of people.
Exactly. And talent.
You have a new crop of talent.
But you're going back to what you already know.
And I think it's a number of different things, I think, personally.
Mm-hmm.
To be completely honest. And I'm just going to shoot straight from the hip here. I honestly believe it is selfishness because people want to still be on top. I think it's something where it is bad booking. I'm just calling a spade a spade.
Oh, of course.
And I'm not speaking negatively. I'm speaking business-like.
Well, look, like I just said, you have a number one contender match 4 months ago.
That's true.
With
I was at that show when that
person wins it.
Yeah.
And 4 months later, he's in another one and wins it again.
Yeah. And Liu Kang came out that show. He came out and stared down Vinny Moon.
Stared down Vinny Moon and told him that he's the number one contender.
Yeah.
I'm coming for the title. I'm not sure if they had a match.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't believe they did.
There were 2 shows. No, this was the next show after that match, right? After I lost the title, this was the next show.
There was one more. There was one show. There was back in the winter time.
Oh, there was one show. No.
Yeah.
There was one. There was. I'm stuttering. There was one more show because that's the show that we took off after we won the titles.
Yeah, that was the show.
Yeah.
That was the show. The Nightbreed who won the tag titles.
Yeah. No. Nightbreed won the tag titles the same night I lost my title.
Yes.
And then there was another show after that.
Yes, there was one, and then this show.
So there was one in this show. Yes, correct.
So I don't believe that last show. Luke King faced Vinny.
I don't think he did. I don't think he did because I don't think Vinny Moon was there. So it's weird. It's just super weird.
Like you said, it comes to booking.
Yeah, it does. It does. My thing is that it's how can I put this? I don't know. It's a business, and you have to grow your crops.
Yes.
In order for your crops to grow, you have to water them. You have to feed them. You have to plant new soil. You can't continue to grow the same old sunflower. Yeah. It's going to droop. It's going to get old.
Droop and die. And,
and you're not going to get any new seeds out of it.
No, not at all.
Like, that's how it is with pro wrestling. You have to continue to grow these young flowers. And I don't think Nickel City is doing it. Me personally saying, I don't think they're doing it.
Well, a company that has been growing some young talent and putting new talent on the map.
Yep.
ESW had the show ESW 4th and Gold, once again from the Johnsburg Fire Hall in North Tonawanda. And in your first match, you saw Atticus Coger defeating Sebastian Braun. Allison Kay defeating Kate Carney.
Okay.
Brandon Thurston picking up the victory against Kevin Blackwood in a teacher versus student.
Teacher versus student. Old lion versus young lion. What movie is that from? Rocky. Go ahead. Continue.
RJ City and Gregory Iron picking up the victory over the Oliver Street Express. which, by the way, their tag team name is great. Handcrafted.
Yeah?
Yes. Gregory Iron and RJ City.
Oh, that's awesome.
They are known as Handcrafted.
You know why?
No, other than the fact that RJ hosts a craft show on YouTube.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Gregory Irons is handicapped. He has a handicap. His hand.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The ESW Interstate title match saw Frankie Feathers defeating Anthony Gaines by countout. Gaines retained the title. Afterward, Gaines told Feathers he was not on his level and attacked him.
Yeah, that's going to be something I definitely need to see.
Captain Nick Ando picking up the victory over Vinnie Moon.
Yeah, Vinnie Moon there. The champion at NCW lost at ESW.
Yes.
Does that hurt his ranking at NCW? Nah.
Not really. Ace Romero, the man who sent Anthony Gaines flying, picks up the victory against Captain Nick Ando.
Wow, double duty.
Yeah. The ESW Tag Team title match saw Game Over, James Sega.
Sorry about that. Missed
Vince
my spot.
Valor picking up the victory over North America's Most Wanted, I believe.
I don't know.
I'm not sure they're tag team of Daniel Garcia and Tarek.
Okay.
I think it's North America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Puff picking up the victory over Kikutaro and Space Monkey in a triple threat.
That should have been a fun match.
That definitely. I did see pictures of Puff having bananas.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bill Collier defeating Brody King, and after the match, TK, Terrell Kenneth, attacked Collier and beat him down.
You know what's funny? Is that I knew TK was going to attack Bill Collier before he even did it. Because I saw TK earlier that morning. He told me he was going to do it.
TK just says he's going to beat somebody up, and he beats somebody up.
He told me he was going to do it. Did I call Bill Collier and tell him?
No.
Do you know why? Because Bill Collier punched me in the mouth and busted my whole lip open.
Oh, wow.
So, no, Bill Collier deserved to get his ass whooped by TK just now.
Well, Mr. Brickster picks up the victory over Cloudy. And then your main event, the ESW Heavyweight title, saw Pepper Parks winning and retaining against Kevin Bennett. Andy Williams helped Parks retain. Puff came out to help Bennett, setting up the tag match of Kevin Bennett and Puff taking on Andy Williams and Pepper Parks on October 6th.
October 6th.
Which, from ESW's Facebook page, tickets are flying. They don't have many left.
Listen, tickets fly regardless, October 6th. But the next show is September 28th.
Yes.
Which is ESW Falling Leaves Festival.
It is a free show.
Free show at Jefferson Ave Park in Salamanca.
Yes. Featuring Shannon Moore.
WWE, but WWE and ESW.
Yes.
Colin Delaney. And 205 Live now.
205 Live. Yep.
Yeah, he's wrestling on 205 Live now.
He has.
Colin Delaney,
And that's down in Salamanca, New York.
Yeah. But the next show at the Fire Hall is going to be October 6th.
Yep. ESW Overdrive featuring Sean Carr, Ace Romero, and Trent Beretta.
Ooh. That's going to see Trent is an awesome dude.
And JT Dunn.
Yeah. Now, everybody knows I'm a fanboy for Sean Carr.
We do.
So I'm going to be there to interview Sean Carr. Gotta be. It's an automatic.
Sean Carr has had more interviews on
I don't care
than anyone.
I don't care.
I know this. I know this.
I don't care. Sean Carr is my boy. All right.
Well, continuing on with the local independent wrestling, the PWI 500.
Butthurt Day. Happy Butthurt Day, everybody.
Yes, hashtag Butthurt Day, as it's come to be.
Yeah, now last year, let's talk about last year really quickly.
Yes.
Last year we talked about the PWI, and I gave my opinions on a lot of people.
You did.
I got backlash for it. Because they thought that I was being, I guess not jaded, but they thought I was being
bitter?
Partial to certain other people.
Oh, okay.
Because people were higher than what I thought they should be. But, that's my personal opinion. Everybody has their opinion. Especially with us being a journalistic podcast.
Absolutely.
I have my opinion on who I think is good and who I think is better and not that good. But this year we're going to do it differently.
Yes.
We're not touching any local guys.
No, we're not.
Because it's Happy Butthurt Day. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the top guys.
Yes.
We're going to talk about why Brock Lesnar is fucking number 4.
Why? We don't know why Brock Lesnar's number 4.
I don't care if he's the champion. The bastard hasn't wrestled. Why is he number 4 on the list? Help me understand that.
I do not know. He's Brock Lesnar?
Help me understand that. Who else is on this list?
Kenny Omega was number 1.
Omega-fied is number 1.
Yes. Kenny Omega was number 1. AJ Styles was number 2.
Yep.
Okada was 3.
Yep.
Lesnar 4.
Ugh.
Rollins 5.
Yep.
Strowman 6. Roman Reigns 7. Cody Rhodes 8.
Yeah.
Naito 9.
Okay.
And The Miz is number 10. That's your top 10.
Now let's start with top 10. I think we're going to stay here for the rest of the show.
Okay.
So let's start with 10. People are mad that The Miz is number 10.
Why? Because he is good at what he does.
The Miz is one of the best heels of this day and age right now.
He is.
He is. He can talk on the mic. He can give you that match that you need. He is all around, all faceted, all around. He's a good wrestler of this day and age. He is.
Yes,
He's the
he
best
is.
heel of this day and age, I feel. So I don't know why people are hating on him right now. You know, maybe because he's doing that good of a job that they don't think he's that good. You know, when you do something so good, people think that you're not that good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like CM Punk. Oh, I'm the best in the world. Well, people still hated CM Punk. Or people thought CM Punk was the greatest, but CM Punk probably wasn't that good. You know, it's kind of a reverse psychology type of thing. You know, The Miz is that good. And I think that's why people hate him.
True.
So,
And he is very good at what he does.
yeah, he is. He is. So, number 9. Naito.
From New Japan Wrestling.
Unfortunately, I don't know anything about Naito.
Honestly, he just recently lost the IWGP Intercontinental Championship to Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Jericho had a nice little feud, which was great. Naito is essentially kind of like the Dolph Ziggler of New Japan Wrestling.
Okay.
He's a guy that knows how to sell, knows how to work, and he's one hell of a talent.
Oh, wow.
I'm completely fine with him being number 9
Yeah.
because he's one of the top guys in New Japan Wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Number 8?
Number 8. I just had it.
And you just lost.
Cody Rhodes.
Cody.
Well, Cody, the American Nightmare. The American Nightmare.
Get it right, Pat G.
What? he left the WWE.
Right.
And holy shit.
Yeah.
He's become to a point where I don't think he needs the WWE anymore.
You know what? It's so funny that you say that because I was just listening to a radio show this morning.
Okay.
Busted Open Radio.
Yep.
And they were talking about that. That was the topic. Do Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks go to WWE? And if they did go to WWE, why would they go? And the only reason why they would go to WWE is because of the money. The only reason. However, if they did go to WWE,
mm-hmm.
what they have right now with All In coming up, which is going to be a freaking huge, amazing show
mm-hmm.
with all of the creative ideas that they have and what they can build on with All In.
Yes.
If they did go to the WWE, all of that is gone immediately.
Oh, absolutely.
WWE shuts all that down.
Oh, absolutely.
There will be no other ventures that
Because
you're
you
doing.
become part of the machine.
Exactly. And what if they do come in? Cody Rhodes, you're going to have a run. You're going to be champion now. All right, you're champion. What happens when that run is done? You go back down to the mid-card and you do nothing now? And now you're stuck in this contract in the mid-card, not doing what you love?
Yep. And having the freedom that you've had for the last year and a half.
Exactly. So with that being said, do they go to the WWE? I don't think so.
No, I don't believe so either. Number 7, Roman Reigns.
Roman. I think this is a good pick. I mean, in all honesty, I would like to see him a little bit higher. I mean, he is the face of, or they're trying to make him the face of WWE.
Roman Reigns I believe, suffers from the same thing John Cena did.
Mm-hmm.
Because when John Cena came out originally, he was a heel. He had the rapper gimmick.
Yep.
And then slowly and surely, the fans started liking him, whatever, and stuff. It's been kind of the reverse of that. Because when John Cena came in, John Cena was a heel. He had the rapper gimmick. He was ripping people to shreds, everything. People liked what he was doing.
Right.
Because in this day and age, it's still cool to like the heels and cheer the heels.
Like Becky Lynch.
But when Roman came in, he came in the Shield. Everybody loved the Shield to start.
Yep.
And then when the Shield split, instead of Roman being the guy, it was Rollins.
Yeah.
I think that's where they went wrong.
I think what happened was when the Shield split with Rollins being the heel first.
Yes.
That's what they liked. If Roman would have been the heel first, he would have been that big badass.
Yep. And it would have loved him because if you look at Dean Ambrose and you look at Rollins, they're the workers.
Yep.
Rollins is the big Samoan badass.
Yep.
I'm just going to beat your ass and call it a day.
Exactly.
If Roman would have been the guy to be in the Seth spot and align himself with Triple H, I think today Roman would be liked.
Yep.
Roman would be cheered because you'd have that moment of that turn. Literally everything you did with Seth Rollins, imagine Roman Reigns in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
imagine
right.
Because this is why I said Roman suffers from the John Cena syndrome, but in reverse.
Yeah,
they cheered like, this is our guy, this is the babyface, cheer, 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 and the crowd was like, no, we cheer for who we want to freaking cheer for.
Yeah,
aka Becky Lynch cutting heel ass promos. The crowd's
yeah, crowd's going crazy. Number 6. Braun Strowman. This right here is it's an automatic. Braun is amazing. He went from number 34 to 6 from last year.
Yep.
So this is amazing. I mean, there's no need even talk about Braun because we already know what he's doing. And if we don't say anything good about him, we might get those hands.
Yeah, I don't want that.
But Braun has definitely broken himself away from the Wyatt family gimmick that they started him off with because he was such a huge guy.
Yeah.
And then he became himself, which is the big badass,
pretty much,
which is awesome.
And he's had associations with people here and there,
yep.
But like he's still. I'm kind of interested to see where they go now with him going back to being a heel.
Yeah,
being the bad guy.
Yep. Number 5, Seth.
Same thing as Braun. Like, look at what he's done over the past year.
Seth has been amazing. His matches have been amazing. I don't really care for him too much. I mean, I wouldn't say that's too strong. I'm not one of the biggest fans of his promos.
His promos do need a little work.
Yeah.
But
he can talk, though.
He can talk, but the work in the ring backs it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 4 was Brock Lesnar.
Why is Brock Lesnar number 4?
Because he's Brock Lesnar.
Why is Brock Lesnar number 4?
I feel like on the list. I feel like Brock Lesnar's number 4 just because they made him the longest reigning champion in the modern era just to erase the name of CM Punk.
But he shouldn't be on. He
shouldn't be, but
anyway.
He is.
Anyway.
Okada's number 3.
Okada.
Which completely belongs because he was one of the longest reigning IWGP heavyweight champions.
Yep.
Had hell of a matches with AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, and more.
Yep.
And just he's been considered essentially one of the top wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
Over the past 2 years.
Yep. Speaking of AJ Styles, he is number 2.
Yes.
And that's where he was last year. so AJ is holding tight to his position.
AJ's there.
Yeah.
There.
Once
again, I know people say the PWI 500 is a work and all this.
Yeah.
But I feel like AJ Styles being number 2 this year, or number 2 last year, number 2 this year, I hope if he keeps going the way he's been going, he gets the number 1 spot next year.
Yeah.
But if he's number 2 again, I'm going to put it on the WWE machine. Being not able to have that freedom that you would out. He does.
I think he does.
But then I think he doesn't.
I mean, look at it though. Omega has the freedom to do whatever the hell he wants.
Oh, absolutely.
AJ has the freedom to do whatever the hell he wants to, as long as it's in the WWE format.
Yep.
So yes. So
once again, part of the machine.
Yeah, part of the machine. So yes. Basically what you were saying, so yes, I can understand. If he doesn't hit number 1, then it would be because of the machine. You're right.
I'm like that. Yeah. That's the only thing I see as to why he's not. Nothing against Kenny Omega, who's number 1. I love Kenny Omega. He's had hell of a matches all year with his matches from Jericho to Okada.
Yeah,
the bringing back the Golden Lovers, the Elite, all that. Omega deserves number 1. He does, but AJ is number 2 last year, and this year he's number 2 again. To an extent, you have to blame the machine.
Yeah, you're right.
Because a lot of guys have come out and said the WWE machine tends to hold them back.
Yeah, you're right. And with that being said, Kenny Omega, number 1.
Also, number 20 this year.
Yes,
John Cena.
John Cena hasn't been in the light.
He hasn't been. Do you think it was too high?
No, he's still John Cena.
Okay.
I don't.
Just asking. Because a lot of people were questioning why he was number 20.
I don't think, because he's still John Cena. He's still a worker. I mean, where was Undertaker at?
I'm not sure where Undertaker was.
Exactly. I guarantee you Undertaker's on that list still.
Yeah.
Undertaker shouldn't be on there at all. But I guarantee you they put him on there. So
sure.
Yes, I feel as though with John Cena being number 20, I think it's a good spot. Because he's still John Cena. You still say his name, his stuff is still going to sell. And with him doing other things at this moment in time, because he's still going to come back. He's not done wrestling.
No.
He's just venturing out doing other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Hogan did. Hogan ventured out and did other wrestling shows. Or not wrestling shows, but, movies and deals and different things. So, I mean, Cena's coming back. He'll wrestle a couple of more matches. He's not done.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but that's that. But ladies and gentlemen, that's our show.
Well,
or is it?
No.
No, it's not our show?
One last thing.
Wow, that was premature.
Yeah, a little bit. The initial release for WWE 2K19.
Uh-oh. Video game time?
Yes. The initial roster release was released today.
Was it?
It was.
Why did I not know that?
I don't know why you did not know that.
I don't know.
It was. There was names roster revealed. 75 WWE stars announced for it was the initial thing.
How many doubles?
No,
because I hate that.
Hold on. So the following, this is the updated list.
Yep.
AJ Styles.
Okay.
Adam Cole. Angelo Dawkins. No idea who that is. Montez Ford. No idea. Kyle O'Reilly. Bobby Fish. Bobby Roode. Titus O'Neil. Ember Moon. Bailey Elias. Rusev Lana. Curtis Axel. Bo Dallas. Daniel Bryan. Velveteen Dream. Matt Hardy. Finn Balor. Kairi Sane. Sasha Banks. Liv Morgan. Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn. Bray Wyatt. Jinder Mahal. The Singh Brothers. Aleister Black. McIntyre, Gargano, Rousey, Riot, Strowman, Reigns, Ambrose, Orton, Randy Savage, John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson.
They're the same person, but...
Same person. Goldust. They doubled Rousey again for some reason. Mysterio, Roderick Strong, Rhino, Big Show, Pete Dunne, Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair, Tyler Bate, Fandango, Sarah Logan, Tyler Breeze, Shayna Baszler, Akam, Razor, Alicia Fox, Alyssa Blix, Lesnar, Corbin, Gable, Hawkins, Wilder, Dawson, Dana Brooke, Jason Jordan, Heath Slater, Cassius Ohno, Connor Victor, Natalia Nijax, Oni Lorcan, TMI 61, Heavy Machinery, Zack Ryder, Triple H.
Wow.
That's the full list as of right now.
Yeah. I mean, of course there's going to be more.
There's a couple doubles on there, probably due to the person that was listing it.
Yeah. I hate when they do doubles. I'm like, oh, hey, Braun Strowman 99. Also, we got Braun Strowman 2000.
Oh, yeah, that,
Really? You dumbasses? Just make it a damn outfit change.
Yeah.
I hate that. And they can do it, they just don't want to do it.
Also, because WWE has the relationship with them, on September 7th and 8th, the Velveteen Dream will be at Evolve.
I saw that.
To face Austin Theory. Which I've heard the name Austin Theory. I believe he's a hell of a worker from stuff that I've seen or whatever. So that's going to be a hell of a match right there. Plus WWE kind of expanding their relationships again. But yeah, that's 2K19. That's the first 75 names.
Okay.
So other than that,
so are you buying 2K19? I just bought 2K18.
You know what? I haven't bought a WWE 2K game probably since 2K15.
Yeah.
So it's been 4 years. I've played them.
I bought 2K18 on sale. And I bought it and I haven't even played it. I let my son play it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I let him play 2K15 because Gabriel Soul is on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But.
Well, one last thing. Do you remember? I remember seeing it. Do you remember the man that played Owen Hart when DX made the fun of the nation?
Yes,
Jason Sensation,
the little kid, yeah,
the little guy,
the skinny. He wasn't little; he was skinny.
Yeah. There was a story last week that he went on his Twitter and said he was going to be at Monday Night Raw with an explosive device. It came out as a prank or everything, but like I saw that, and I'm going, in this day and age, I was like, wow.
That's ridiculously crazy.
Yeah.
Why would he do that?
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Jason Sensation, former WWE talent, put on Twitter, I got my gun through security and will shoot myself in the head and kill myself during tonight's Raw in Toronto. Don't you dare miss it. Thank for the memories. A bunch of people tweeted at him, like Vince Russo tweeted at him, was like, brother, I hope you're kidding. Just tried calling and texting, please, man. You have an army of people out there. So, and then John Pollock was like, I just got off the phone with the Toronto police. They are investigating the tweet that Jason put out there. No update. And eventually it came out the arena and everybody was aware. And the update and finally the Toronto police updated said, we're with Jason Station now. He was never at the Scotiabank Arena. All is in order. So, in this day and age of social media and everything, and especially with the things that are going on, especially with the recent developments that just happened at the Madden tournament, why would you do that?
He's not right in the head.
Yeah.
Period.
So a situation where WWE's probably aware of it and is going to be like, okay, dude, if you need help, we'll help you.
Hopefully they will.
Everything. I just saw that and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Hopefully they will. They got a lot of guys that, came through and they've helped out. So hopefully they'll help him as well. But with that being said.
Yes. Now we're going to end it.
Now the show is over. Thank you for joining us. We truly appreciate it. It's been a long night. We had, we went a little bit. We went about 20 minutes more than we usually do. Only because of the
Sergeant Fury takeover.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We know how we do it. Get us in contact with us. Facebook Live, Facebook, Twitter, on everywhere. Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast. We're
GearNetwork.com.
GearNetwork.com. Listen to all the other shows. But you know how we end the show? Cyclone!
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.